I'm Chris. In this video we're going to install a front lip on this Mark 7.5 R. I have the hardware here. This comes with the spacers you need, as well as a quick diagram showing where everything goes. You'll see on our lip the identification and the branding is on the bottom side. On the top there's no visible logos. This has a light satin textured finish, rounded edge, so it's going to be nice and durable. And then for install, we actually don't have to remove the bumper here, so I'll show you how this process works. Under the car, we just need to remove a few screws so we can reach into the inside of this lower tray. We got 2 for the fender liner, 1, 2, 3 across the center, and then 2 more for the fender liner on this side. We're only going to pull those. They're T25s. This car looks like it has some replacement ones put in. They're Phillips, but your car should be T25s everywhere. Next thing we're going to do is remove a couple of the screws that go from the center subframe panel to the fender liners. There's a couple T25s on both sides. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 on this side, 3 on the other. We're going to remove those so that the fender liner has a little bit more play in it, so we can reach into this part of the bumper also. I'm also going to remove the screw that retains that panel just so we can get it out of the way. Just one in the center, and then you got some clips along the front edge here. At this point, we have enough room that we can reach in here. This is a good time to clear out all the junk that's in your bumper cover. Usually there's a lot of gravel and dirt, so that stuff's not falling on us. I'll quickly vacuum that out. First step here is going to be to put the lip in place. We're going to use this as a template for drilling. We include 2 longer T25 screws with a large flange washer. You're going to use this inside hole. Depending on the vehicle you're doing this on, the 7.5R looks like this. Other ones, this shape comes around. It'll be the one hole that's not countersunk. On a Jetta model, you're going to have 2 holes here. You can use either one that lines up with your bumper. We're going to put this in like this. Countersunk holes are going to face the ground. So we'll put this in, and then I'll show you where this lines up inside the fender liner. It's one of the holes that we just took a screw out of. If you're doing this install with a friend, you can have them just hold it. So we're gonna put the lip in, get the 2 sides attached. You want something holding the center here so this doesn't sag. That'll get your hole position more accurate and make sure that we're not damaging anything. I just have a cardboard tube here sticking out. That's gonna hold it for the center because I'm working alone. We'll get the lip in place. We're going to do countersunk holes facing down towards the ground. We're going to use the hole between the fender liner and the rearmost bumper. You'll see that lines up about flush with the bumper here. And I'm just going to use a piece of tape to hold this up tight. It'll just make my holes a little more accurate. With the lip in place now, we can drill all our countersunk holes. We're going to use a 1/4 inch or 6mm. We'll start at the outside. We're going to use the shortest bolt in that outside hole. I'll reach in to get the washer on top, and then our nut. The first 2 are going to be those short bolts. Next one is going to be the medium length bolt. This one does have one of the round washers, so that's going to go between the lip and the bumper. In the center, we have 2 rows of holes. We're going to use the longer plastic spacers. They are numbered, so refer to the diagram. It'll show you which one goes on the outside and the inside. They're slightly different sizes. And you're going to use the long bolt in the front. Getting that outer one in is probably the hardest part of this whole process. It gets a little bit easier towards the center. I found that holding the nut kind of between 2 fingers, you can slide your hand in that a little easier, so you can get that, especially on the front one. The last piece in the center is going to be the taller round spacer. That one's going to go in that center hole all alone. You'll see that there's no rear hole in that center position. Once you get to that point, you're just doing the same thing on the opposite side of the car. One thing to mention, the rear hole on the one towards the center, you're not going to put a washer on that. You'll see it on the diagram. Just wanted to make a note of that. All these other ones will get washers except that one there. And that's just because there's not enough room to fit it with where this bolt lands on the tray. I have all the bolts in, they're just finger tight at this point, so I'm going to tighten them up now. We use a serrated flange nut on the back side that's going to bite into the washer. So usually you could just use a ratchet or an impact or whatever and tighten these up. You might not even need a wrench to hold the back side. And these are going to be a T30. We'll put the subframe panel back in. This goes into the core support, not into this piece. So you got a couple tabs that go above, and then these other ones go below it. And that should kind of click in. You got one screw that retains it, and then we'll have the 4 on this side, 3 on this end. We'll finish off by doing the screw in the fender liner, 3 across the center of the lower tray. You'll have 2 extra screws because we're going to leave in the long ones we provide on the outside rear edge. And if you adjust that slightly up or down, that'll move this outer edge up or down also. So you can kind of play with that to get it in the position that you like. That's our completed install. And for reference, if you line this up with the edge of the bumper, you're about 30 millimeters out in front of it. Over here it tapers down to a little bit less. We're at about 15 there. I'll bring this car outside and take another video also, but it's the middle of the day, so the shadows are going to be pretty bad.